This specific gold machine, built by Ray Brosseuk in British Columbia, Canada, was designed as an insert to an already existing sluice plant. We took this insert and married it up to a de-rocker, and here are our findings. Ray and his son came out and spent several days with us setting up and fine-tuning the gold machine for us. They encountered several new challenges with the de-rocker, where it only classifies the 3" minus material and tends to use more water than other sluice plants. After some adjustments to the complete system, the gold machine began to increase our rate of gold recovery.
Inside you see the reverse spiral. This is different than any normal trommel, where the scouring enters right from the top and it wears the steel very hard. Whereas this reverse helix, it sprinkles in from the top and there's always a bed to absorb the impact. It takes a long time to wear the steel on the gold machine. You can see the material being laid out. And then the heavies and the gold is on the right hand side down low. It climbs all the way up. A small percentage of the gold will come out on our tail sluice where it's quickly screened to 3/4 inch, or sorry, 1/4 inch. Out our tail run. That punch plate where the gold drops and the heavies drop early, which progressively gets larger so that the nuggets can come up the reverse helix as well. Here are the larger rocks. Joins the side sluice. Gets caught in Hungarian ripples. This mat here is just expanded metal. Usually by the end of the day it goes pretty yellow. Makes for quick and easy cleanups. This little side run from the gold machine sluices about 5 yards an hour, 1/4 inch minus. We're just shutting down the sluice plant. The rocker's off now. The gold machine has to do about 5 rotations to clean out all the gold. And now it's shut down and the water will clear it up. And here we're just shutting down, trickling some of the water and cleaning up the mats. The gold machine does a really good job of concentrating the gold. Pretty pure. Yeah, quite a few ounces. Well, each diamond probably holds an ounce of gold.
Think so? Oh, that would be nice.
When working perfectly, the side sluice will recover 97.5% of the gold, leaving only 2.5% in the tail sluice. The gold machine covers some very basic and simple aspects to proper gold recovery. It dampens and almost eliminates surging, classifies down to 1/4 inch, and is able to catch large nuggets. And also, it only sluices a small portion of the total slurry. One way of putting it, the gold machine is almost a cleanup machine.
The beauty about this machine is you know instantly what kind of ground you're in. You can quickly test a cut. Run for half an hour, 2 hours, doesn't matter the amount of cubic yards. This is how quickly you clean. Just like that, lunch break is over and everybody goes back to work, and you know exactly where you're at with the gold. A little icy this morning, middle of October. We had the gold machine nice and toasty warm, all tented in.
This spring, Ray was convinced that I would likely see a 10% increase in overall gold recovery using the gold machine. So, after barging in the gold machine to 10 Mile Creek, up the Yukon River, we set up the reverse helix right beside last year's cuts. Now we have to assume that the ground paid relatively the same as last year. And we must also assume that I processed the same amount of bedrock and pay dirt. And then it appears that the gold machine paid for itself in very little time. The test lasted for a little more than 10,000 cubic yards. There were two variables, however, that did change from last year to this year. Number one was my rate of feed. We dropped from an average of 100 cubic yards per hour to about 80 cubic yards per hour this year. The second change was by dropping our water volume by about 25%. Here's what we found. Last year we had an average of 1.7 troy ounces per 100 cubic yards during the 60-day period, using boil boxes, punch plate, hydraulic riffles, and expanded metal. This year, using the gold machine, adjacent, upstream, and downstream of last year's cuts, we recovered 2.1 troy ounces per 100 cubic yards. It was a 0.4 ounce per 100 cubic yards increase. This represents a 19% increase in gold recovery, or close to $500 per hour increase in gold recovery. That's averaging last year's and this year's gold prices together.